Okay, dear Dhamma friends, honorable sisters, so we are going to start the second Dhamma discussion. So we have received a couple of reports. So as usual, Chandrika is ready with those reports. So we'll start with the written reports.
Avasarai Bhante, we have received 10 reports today. Report number 1. Avasarai Bhante, walking meditation. Selected a walking path which has around 20 steps. Started with a sort of a brisk walk and gradually slowed down the pace, which can be monitored. When walking, focused on the points of the feet which touch the ground. First the heel, then the ball and the toe. Sometimes the thoughts came and not given much prominence, and they faded away. After some time, felt sleepy and again increased the walking pace. Then the sleepiness went away and could be able to focus on the feet again. Spent around 45 minutes on walking. Dear Bhante, please advise me in order to improve my mindfulness. Thero Saranai.
No, I don't think that there's a big issue. So basically feeling sleepy and you are overcoming it by improving or increasing the speed. It's a natural thing. So you are, one thing is to, as you have done, increase in the speed so that you become a little active more. The other thing is you can try to very quickly catch the information, because that Dhamma Vichay part. So quick investigation. As you are walking, it is not merely the speed improved, but also you are trying to catch the information as much as possible, as quickly as possible. It is not that actually we are encouraging very slow walking to gather information. Rather, while we are walking naturally, in a natural pace, are we able to quickly gather the information? So that is the technique that we have to follow. Now, just to overcome the sleepiness, probably what you are doing is correct. You are little quickly you are walking. At the same time, now you can try whether I can pick some information. So that will add another pace, another improvement to the practice. And then your mind can't go to sleep, can't go to any kind of a drowsy state, because something is there to watch, something is there to investigate.
Report number 2, Bhante. I watch my breath at my nostril. In-breath was felt slightly, out-breath more firmly. After some time, both in and out breaths were very faintly felt, and my interest moved to watching a space at the place in and out breath was felt. This space had 2 compartments. Left side was where thoughts would come up, right side was the empty space. So it was a shift from the right to left, but mostly I felt that I stayed on the left empty space. The thoughts that came up were blurred and could not be identified. It was like color and objects was all mixed up.
Yeah.
Walking meditation, shall I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Walking meditation. Concentrated on the sensations on each foot, starting from heel to the toes. The sensations with each foot from heel upwards was noticed with a pushing sensation at the shoulder and ended with the pushing of air at the top of the head. This was felt on the right side and left side where the foot touched the ground with hardness. There was an overall crawling sensation on the head, and this sensation was felt shifting to allow the air to be pushed up. Bhante, please advise.
So I think this is also quite fine. So previously you are doing, Chandrika man, can you repeat the sitting part again little?
I watch my breath at my nostril. In-breath was felt slightly, and out-breath was firmly felt. After some time, both in and out breath was very faintly felt, and my interest moved to watching a space at the place in and out breath was felt.
Okay, so now this is something in a way quite natural in a way, because at first we feel different phenomena, but later only we understand, okay, not only phenomena, there is a space as well. But interestingly, then the phenomena almost like disappear, the space appear more. So almost like no phenomena at all, we end up with fairly spacious experience. So the mind become more spacious. So the process becomes somewhat far away, or it has gone to the background, and we are not almost paying attention to that, or that has completely faded away, and we end up with a spacious mindset. So the spaciousness is one result of our practice. So now, yesterday we discussed about that emptiness. So that is where mind doesn't have anything to be conscious, but still it is conscious. Mind maintains certain amount of spaciousness, and now only we understood that, because previously it was crowded. So much of thoughts are there, so much of signs are there, mental images are there, inner chatter is there. So no space at all. I mean, fully compact, fully crowded, congested type of a mind. There is no room at all in the mind. It's completely filled, overflowing, like too much thinking, too much proliferation, too much imagination. So many things are there. But now you are coming to an area, okay, nothing is there. Fair amount of space available, mind feels lighter, and thoughts might come once a while, but during that absence, no thoughts, still you are fully aware. So one thing is that you might fall asleep when there are no thoughts and no mental images. So that is one of the challenges that one has to face. On the other hand, if you are able to recognize this spacious awareness, just try to dwell there. That's a good area for us to explore. So awareness is there, knowing is there, but nothing to know, nothing to be aware, but awareness is present.
Please raise your hand if you need to discuss anything, please. Report number 3, Most Venerable Bhante. Sitting meditation. Started with Anapanasati and goes to the empty state, but some days after meeting certain relatives, the mind is on the surface observing arising and passing of thoughts. Walking meditation. Walking is effortless. Slightly sleepy and notice the adukkama sukha vedana in the mind and not enjoying the walking as earlier. Day to day. There are few day to day she has written. 1. Notice certain qualities of a dementia patient. Forget where I have put the certain things. No grudge is held after people say angry words. I also notice how eye-making happens in different situations. Example, I didn't go to the empty state today. I understand the sermon. I must advise her. Then 3, I awaken to dreams. Last week, after meeting a troubled cousin, I remember seeing a dream like a slow motion cartoon. One frame arising and passing, followed by a sequence of frames arising and passing rapidly. Can't remember the content. Bhante, I have heard we need to have an equanimous mind towards the thoughtless mind and mind with thoughts. This can be done only naturally via the practice, isn't it? Also, even if certain relatives have helped us, if they create a certain vibration to the mind, should they be avoided gradually if we can't change their overindulgence in sensual pleasures? Please advise.
So relatives, no, nothing to worry. So, you can't change, that is one thing. So they have their own limitations, they have their own understanding, and they don't want to mingle with us, and so these things are quite common. But still, dealing with them, being with them, gives us a kind of an opportunity to test our mind. So that's the other side. So we can avoid it. Yeah, that is true, possible. That gives you a complete avoidance. That is one strategy. But how about being with them for a while and see how your mind reacts? So that gives us another way of understanding. So because just avoidance is one method, but being with them and looking at our own mind and understanding any kind of resistance being drawn, any inner chatter again reappear, any inner chatter reappear. So all sorts of defilements are possible to reappear, when this kind of a situation is there, because mind doesn't want to be there, but I am unfortunately I have to be there. So mind is kind of quarreling to I need to get out of it, I want to get out of it. So like that, certain impatience is growing. So how are we dealing with that? So it is not that every time we have to avoid, but mindfully, if we are capable, if we are if we are to test ourselves, assess our practice, that's also a good opportunity. And they don't know, what we are doing. So, but they are giving us a chance, giving us an opportunity to assess our own progress. So, but at first, maybe avoidance may be much better, because in case if they say something discouraging, if they say something unfaithful and harmful to our own progress, then we are the ones going to suffer. So therefore, only associating some like-minded people has a big impact or big advantage. Asevanacha balanam, panditanancha sevana. Simple as that. But later, you yourself understand, okay, now something is there, I can handle the situation now. You have some courage. You have practiced and you earn certain amount of mindfulness, clear comprehension, certain wisdom, and time to time you are able to maintain the clarity of the mind, spaciousness of the mind, non-grasping state of the mind. Now you are somewhat equipped. You are no more kind of a beginner. You have some skills already developed. With that skill, you can stay with some others who are a little bit of challenging, irritating, all that, and see how the mind is now reacting. Because each of us may have certain people, I like him, I don't like him, I like this association, I like that association. So these kind of preferences are there in our mind, but not every time we can meet that. We can't be perfect in each situation. There are instances that either you like it or not, you have to be with that. You have to deal with it. So how can we maintain a friction-free, defilement-free mind even in such situation? That is pretty challenging. That is also helping us to understand further defilements. So therefore, understanding defilements is one important aspect of our practice. So it doesn't happen only when we are dealing with our friends and whoever we love and who praise us and all that. So we can't understand these defilements. So defilements are easy to understand when we are with the difficult people, maybe with the relatives. Our Bhante Dhammaji used to say many things about the relatives. Yeah.
Report number 4. Venerable Swamin Wahansa. Yesterday you mentioned that when thoughts come to our mind, we have to let them come and think that those thoughts are not permanent and therefore will not last.
It is not think, by the way. Use the term think. That means that thoughts are coming, but you are separately rationalizing that they are not permanent. But what I suggested was, it is not that you are rationally trying to understand, rather you watch how they are becoming impermanent. They may show the impermanence. That is their characteristic. It is not that I am using the Buddha's knowledge, rather I simply saw, I simply see. Thoughts are coming, yes, I am not afraid of them, now I can see them as merely thoughts. I am not promoting thinking, I am not adding my own stuff, but I am able to watch it. So then what happened to these thoughts? So these thoughts are also conditioned phenomena. They appear, then may stay for a while, and then quickly they disappear. They quickly simply blurred or quickly fade away. So that is something that we need to promote to understand the impermanence. Because sometimes for certain people, understanding impermanence through the bodily phenomena might be difficult. But for them, you can try it through Chittanupassana. As you gain certain amount of mindfulness, clear comprehension, so let the mind think, but you are very much distancing yourself. Even though thoughts appear, you are not thinking in a way. Mind is thinking, but you are not the mind in that sense. So thoughts are there, so you are no more a thinker. Thoughts are there, by the way. So these thoughts come and go, come and go, come and go. So then you understand, okay, I mean, they are merely thoughts. They are conditioned phenomena. They are sankhara. Sabbe sankhara anicca. Then you will understand.
Swamin Vahansa, can we have two parallel thoughts? How can we do this practically? On the other hand, if bad thoughts have come and we then think that the bad thoughts too is not permanent, we have already had a bad thought, haven't we? With kindness towards us, can you please explain this? Theruvan Sarana.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Chittanupassana, so all thoughts are conditioned. Either they are wholesome, either they are unwholesome. Both are conditioned phenomena. So that's why it's a very interesting area for us to explore. So at the beginning, we are more into the wholesome side. That is necessary. Okay, I mean, you understand, okay, this is a wholesome thought, this is an unwholesome thought. Unwholesome thought may promote some unwholesome activities, unwholesome tendencies, so I better not associate it. So likewise, we have this against unwholesome attitude. So we don't want to encourage unwholesome thoughts. But once you gain fair amount of understanding, mindfulness, clear comprehension, and now you are at the level of Chittanupassana, there are even unwholesome thought is mere a thought. It has the nature to come and go. Not only that, even the wholesome thought is a mere thought. It also has the nature to come and go. So you step back and see how they are coming and going. Then there is no preference like. It is not that I am trying to think the most sublime, wholesome thought, because it is also a conditioned phenomena. I can't trust it. I can't depend on it. And of course, then unwholesome thought definitely is not something to rely on. So that also arises and pass away. So that's how Buddha explained. If you can refer Satipatthana Sutta, Sadosan Chittanti Pajanati. Vitadosan Chittanti Pajanati. Whenever there is some thought of ill will, so that is also he knows. He knows it also come and go. When there is a loving kindness thoughts, that also he has noticed. He knows that. It also arises and pass away. Simple as that. So fairly the non-judgmental awareness comes very, very valid here. So you don't have much preference to any thought because they are not something that we can rely on. Thinking is not something that we can reliably rest on. Rather, thinking is a conditioned phenomena, conditioned activity happening in the mind, and we can't trust it. We can't sometimes even control it, and thoughts can't be relied on. So they simply come and go, and then you rest in the silence in a way. Maybe the silence more reliable than the thoughts. So thoughts are conditioned. Silence also may be conditioned because still the defilements are there time to time. Again, I am getting disturbed. But more we are practicing, more we are confident, more we may be experiencing some better silence or more stillness, more calmness, more clarity, more emptiness. Nothing is there. So that is much, we can say sometimes we can simply say it is more reliable in a way and more trustworthy. There is, in Dvaitanupassana Sutta, I can remember that Buddha is talking about he is differentiating the attitude of a noble person and attitude of a typical worldly person. So typical worldly person always appreciate this conditioned phenomena. So whatever we see, whatever we hear, smell, taste, and touch and think, and all these conditioned phenomena are having certain kind of a taste, having certain kind of a delight when we are associating it, and he gives a fair importance to that. But with a noble person, it is something conditioned and not much worthy. So he might prefer some sort of an emptiness. It has nothing basically, no conditioned phenomena at all. So his mind may be more towards the unconditioned in that sense. more towards the emptiness. So that's why in the Dhammapada, there are verses around the Arahants. Sabbasava parikkena aharecha anissita. Sunyato animittocha viveke sunyato animittocha. Can't remember. Sunyato animittocha. Give me a second. There are two verses actually, very beautiful two verses about the Arahants. Yeah, one thing. Yesang sannichayo natti ye parinyata bhojana sunyato animittocha vimokko yesa gocharo akaseva sakuntanam gatitesan durannaya. So very interesting and fairly profound verse. Yesang sannichayo natti. Now this is talking about the Arahants. Yesang sannichayo natti. They are not people that who gather things. They don't have a stock. They don't have a store to gather things. Yesang sannichayo natti. Ye parinyata bhojana. And they know the right amount related to their food. So this is not merely the, the amount of what we eat. In deep terms, how many foods are there? How many nutriments are there? 4 nutriments are there. Kabalinkara ahara, passa ahara, manosanchetana ahara, vijnana ahara. So many different, 4 types of ahara, nutriments are there. So related to this Arahant, ye parinyata bhojana. So they have penetrated, or they have realized about the ahara, the nutriments. Sunyato animittocha vimokko yesa gocharo. Now their dwelling is in emptiness and signlessness. So that is their pasture. So that is where their mind relies on. Akaseva sakuntanam gatitesan durannaya. Now that gives us a very interesting indication. Now when birds fly in the sky, can you see the signs of the foot or the footpath? It's not traceable, right? When they are flying, once they flew into the sky, so we can't see their footsteps. Similarly, even though Arahants are dwelling, you can't find where their minds were attached to. Because why? Sunyato animittocha. So their minds are more associating the emptiness and the signlessness. So when their minds are associating emptiness and signlessness, so you can't follow them and find out where their mind was associating, because nothing is there. Very profound, very interesting. Available in Dhammapada Arahanta Vagga. So you can see how beautifully that Buddha is putting the message or putting the context to us. So they still live, but they are mostly their association is sunyata and animitta. Spacious in a way. And they are not attached to anything, their minds are not tangled in anything. So as a result of that, you can't trace what they were thinking and what they were liking, because their minds are so open, so spacious, so empty. Like the birds, when they flew through the sky, we can't trace the footsteps.
Report number 5. Venerable Bhante, my meditation experiences. I am new to meditation practice. Seated meditation. Primary object, breath. When I finished my body scan, I was able to focus on my breath by taking a couple of deep breaths and then easing into normal breathing. I was able to focus for a while, but found my mind wandering when I heard the bird sounds. I wanted to identify the bird. However, I brought my mind back to the breath. I was able to do this for about 20 minutes. The last few minutes, my mind was on a pain in my right leg. There was a moment of panic, wondering if I would be able to drive back home.
So that pain, such a intense pain. Wow.
Walking.
So anyway, these are some simple things. Don't take it too serious. So we have our own different likes and dislikes, and so now you are here trying to recognize who is the bird, But someone else might be trying to recognize who is the singer when they hear a song. Or someone, when they are talking, they want to recognize who is the guy who is talking or disturbing. So likewise, we have our own preferences, our own interest, and that is where we get caught. So our interest, these kind of likes, dislikes, our tendencies, so this is where the trap. So our own preferences. So I like music. So that is the catching area. That is the most attractive area for me then. So if you like politics, okay, that is the most attractive area for you then. You like fondling children, okay, that may be the most attractive area for you. So likewise, we have our own preferences, we have our own likes and dislikes. That is the area mind frequently get occupied. And we'll discuss that during the Dhamma sermon also. So Buddha in this Mahasunyata Sutta is asking us to reflect that. So what is my preferences? Where my mind mostly engaged with? Where my mind is mostly engaged with? Is it to sensual pleasures? Is it thinking about some sexual fantasies? Is it to encouraging any kind of sensuality? Is it onto the politics? Is it into the good governance? Is it onto giving punishment to the bad people? Or is it for the ending of the war? Many preferences are there. Our likes and dislikes are there. So that is what I am thinking the most. And that is where I am get trapped. So knowing that is a realization in a way. Understanding the behavior of the mind, understanding where my preference is, where the mind get often tangled with, is a realization. So then you know at least, this is the area I am still being fooled in a way. That is where I am again and again being further captivated. So once you know that, then at least you can reduce that captivation. Because what happens is, when we are not into the practice, we keep on promoting that. Our mind easily get into that, easily involved in that, easily spend hours and hours in that, and we get trapped, never ending, completely lost in the samsara. But now, as a result of the practice, you get to know, okay, the mind is crazy in this particular area. Okay, I get crazy when I see the pictures. I get crazy when I see women. I get crazy when I see some handsome people. I get crazy when I see some delicious food. So we have our own different interests. So that is the area I am being sort of captivated. So knowing that very honestly and trying to release the mind from that, trying to keep the mind away from that, is something we ourselves have to do. No one else can do it. Isn't it?
I have to share this with you, Bhante, when you were talking. My first visit to Mitirigala, I was doing walking meditation near the like that thick jungle place where you get walking paths. So I was doing
closer to the vihara.
Yeah, and I normally pay and go on bird tours. So the birds, there was a bird call which I didn't know. So I forgotten that I'm walking. I was going behind the bird. I wanted to watch who this bird is, which I couldn't find because it's a thick jungle. So that's okay. Now, yesterday, when you said that it's not a motivation for me anyway, yesterday I was sitting and having a cup of tea here. No one noticed. I just noticed two woodpeckers on the food. There is a food bench, like stool stand there. Two woodpeckers there, and then another what is this? Kondaku, red-vented bulbuls. Kondakurullas are there. I forgot that I was walking. I was just watching. So I don't know what has happened to my practice for 12 years.
Yes. Can understand. I mean, these are the way that our minds are involved with. So we have our own interests. So that those interests are the ones actually holding us in the samsara. So it's kind of a bitter truth. I mean, these are the interests that we really value, we really treasure, right? So and this is the area that I am mostly get involved with. But this is the same area that I am being holding to the samsara. That's the way.
Okay, the second part, walking meditation.
So I hope the report is not yours.
No. Otherwise,
That
I
means
would
there's
have
another
said.
colleague for you.
Maybe. Same thinking, I
Yeah.
suppose. Walking meditation. Primary object was to be aware of the walking process. So I used the words here, now to stay on it. This helped me stay in the present moment. However, while walking on the sand path, I found it a little hard to keep my balance. I enjoyed being out in nature, away from the usual responsibilities.
I don't like to discourage it, because being in the nature is something healing. So you come into the nature, enjoying even the birds singing and all that, trees and everything is one step, no problem, no harm. But later, slowly, use that, that blissful environment or whatever, that atmosphere, coming back to the body and establish mindfulness. Because coming to the forest, being with the environment, being with the nature is something blissful, something something need to be encouraged. But don't stop there. Just pay further attention to the body and slowly bring your attention back to the body, establish mindfulness there. And so that's why even the Arahants have enjoyed, can't say the word enjoyed, they themselves have appreciated the nature. Even the best Arahants. I used to say this, I think someone called Ganga Theragata or something. So he's saying now, when the rain comes closer, so the birds, the crows and the cocks, and they start flying with the very beautiful way, and I used to see that how quickly they want to disappear, they want to away from this oncoming rain. And it's the nature, they are talking. And in this Girimananda Theragata, so let me tell that, since it's very suitable here. This I mentioned on the very first day of the retreat, monks retreat. Girimananda Theragata. Vassati devo yatha sugitang channa me kutika sukha nivata tassang viharami vupasanto athave pattesi pavassa deva. Very aesthetic in a way, really beautiful, really aesthetic. Vassati devo yatha sugitang. Like a song, the devas are raining. So he see the aesthetic side. Now this is the Arahant Girimananda. So he sees, now the rain falls like a song. Channame kutika sukha nivata. So my kuti, my small hut, is well thatched, properly, the roof is well prepared, and sukha nivata. And it is basically giving me certain amount of happiness or comfort. Sukha nivata. It provides me this proper dwelling, happiness. And then tassang viharami vupasanto. So I am dwelling there with a calm mind, undefiled mind. Atave pattesi pavassa deva. So God, the God of the rain, if you want, you may further rain. So very, these are very interesting areas that you all to read, the Theragata and Therigata, giving us a very aesthetic aspect of the practice. Because sometimes, the practice appear like very dry and very technical. But when Arahants are talking about the, how they beautifully merge with the environment and appreciate the nature and live with an undefiled, completely pure mind, so that is encouraging us also, isn't it? So it is not that we are traveling towards a completely very dry and tasteless path. It is not a tasteless path, right? It has certain taste, the taste of freedom, isn't it? I think there's Achan Chah's book, no? Taste of Freedom. So therefore, adding little bit of aesthetic side, nature, is something beautiful in a way to encourage us to continue the path. And not only this, even Venerable Mahakassapa, he being one of the foremost Arahant, he is saying that, I don't know whether I can quickly get that, how many reports are there? 10 reports, right? 4 more, okay. Kassapa Theragatha, I don't know whether I am able to quickly find it out. Kassapa. Oh, it has 40. It has 40 verses. Very difficult to find out where then it is there. I don't know, this is the same thing. Kareri Mala Vitta, Bhumi Baga Mano Rama, Kunjara Bhiruda Ramma, Te Sela Ramayanti Mang, 1067. I'll tell the single translation. Lunuwarana Rukpeting Patiragiya, Sitkalu Bhuvivaga Ati, Atunge Garjanain Ramyavu, E Parvateo Masit Alavat. Now this Arahant Mahakassapa is telling, so I don't know the exact English term for Lunuwarana, some sort of a tree, and it's a series of such trees are there, and it's completely spreaded with these trees, and it's so beautiful, and it is often being, sound by the trumpet of the elephants, and these beautiful rocks in this forest is something I really like or really delighted with, because this nature is where healing. So actually currently we are completely withdrawn from the nature, so that's why so much of stress, so much of enmity, and so much of fighting and all wars and everything, because you can see most of the countries now, the people don't have the nature. They don't have much of the fauna and flora, and everything is just the buildings. So you become very dry internally. Emotionless people. They can't understand the things. We in Sri Lanka are quite fortunate, because at least we still have certain greenery. Wherever you see certain, the trees are there, the beautiful environment is there. So that is so healing, very interesting, very important. But many countries, they have simply the sensual buildings and all this stuff. That's all. You can't find anything to heal the mind. Everywhere the stress and everywhere the sensuality. That is what being promoted. Advertisement, lights and this and all that. So mind get really, corrupted in a way and stressed up. Ultimately end up with depression and all different kinds of mental diseases. That's the situation. So therefore, anyway, I just want to tell you, if you come here and even enjoy the nature, I really like that. So nothing to discourage. But slowly bring your that healed mind to the body, then further and further you can understand the beauty of the silence. So beauty of the silent mind. Typically the mind is keep on talking and conflicting and so much of inner stress going on. But what a bliss to have a silent mind, a free mind, unattached mind. Yeah.
Report number 6. Venerable Bhante, sitting meditation. Primary object was the breath at the nostrils. I seemed aware of the breath all the time, except for a couple of times when I was absorbed in some thoughts. Thoughts were there continuously, but seemed like background noise. I didn't make any effort to stop them or investigate my breath or to do anything at all. Walking meditation.
Can you repeat the same thing?
I didn't make any effort.
No. The whole thing.
Primary object was the breath at the nostrils. I seemed aware of the breath all the time, except for a couple of times when I was absorbed in some thoughts. Thoughts were there continuously, but seemed like background noise. I didn't make any effort to stop them or investigate my breath or to do anything at all.
You haven't even investigated the breath, so that is something probably if you like you can do it, because paying more attention to breath can further reduce the distracting thoughts, because you have certain, that is why that is why we are keeping the Mula Kamatahana. That is why we are keeping the primary object. That is why we encourage you to investigate. So the more you investigate in the primary object, you forget about the other stuff, other secondary objects. Your primary object become more and more prominent, and more subtle aspects become evident to you. As a result of that, inner chatter and thinking and all that become disappeared. So therefore I encourage you to investigate further the breathing process, and that also you may understand how to do in a proper way. I mean, at first you may be putting so much of effort, it may be tiresome. Later you will understand, okay, what is the amount of effort I need to invest in this investigation also. So likewise, certain areas are there for you to sort of test out.
Walking meditation. Primary object was the contact under my feet. Similar to sitting meditation, I was aware of the contact continuously, but there were other thoughts underneath. At times, I would examine the contact and feel the movement of sand, feel it as soft, dry, cool, etc. I spent some time identifying the difference between cool and damp sand. Most of the time, I seemed happy to walk with awareness of the contact. At one point, I remembered meditation I did in the past, which seemed like a big effort and struggle, and I wondered what has been so troublesome.
Last part.
What she's saying is, now it's so easy. So like
easy.
She was,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's understandable. Yeah, that's why, I mean, even just now I mentioned, at first we are putting unnecessary effort, because we don't know the art yet. But once we know that, then we understand, so why did I was struggling so much? Because that's where, I mean, I am not yet known to the area. I am yet a learner, beginner. So I am putting unnecessary effort, and still things are very difficult and tiresome. But later we understand, okay, I mean, why did I trouble so much? It's a very simple thing, no?
Daily activities. I was aware of my steps. I was mindful when serving food, eating, sweeping. Example, I was aware of what I was doing, but did not investigate or examine it at all. This was all effortless most of the time. Once, when I wanted to sweep the walking path quickly, I realized that if I swept mindfully, it is as good as mindful walking. Is that correct? Overall, an effortless 2 days. Is that okay?
Okay. It depends on where you are also. Because at first we might need certain amount of effort if the mind get often distracted. So effortfully we have to again and again bring the mind back to the primary object. But later, your effort has to be less. Otherwise, too much effort can makes you restless. So therefore, these qualities or these parameters are to be adjusted as you are continuing the path. So it is not the same amount of effort that we need to maintain every time, every day. Rather, we have to do the proper adjustments, then only the practice happen properly, smoothly. So I think your investigation is correct, your observation is correct. So one thing is that your investigation or observation talking about why I was struggling. I mean, it was a simple activity. Yes, it's true. But we don't know that. I mean, it's new to me, so I am putting too much effort, and I think it is so difficult. And then later I understood it by practically involving in it. I understood, okay, it is something easy, and just this is the way to do it, something like that. It's very much like driving. Now, at first, you hold the steering like, then you can't even turn it when it is necessary, and then boom, met with an accident. Then you can even maintaining simple two fingers you are holding the steering wheel, right? So it's so easy. Why did I holding like this at first? Oh, later you understand. Yeah.
Report number 7. Dear Bhante, Thank you, Bhante, for your valuable Q&A session yesterday. I noticed all outside things are giving us short-term impermanent happiness, including our decaying body. Only by developing intellectual happiness, including meditation, can give us long-lasting happiness. I am in the middle age and still my mind is reluctant to accept this aging process, such as getting grey hair, having saggy skin, etc. I get sad thoughts. How to develop impermanence thoughts in meditation, more as I know that thoughts also will last short term.
Actually, one area that I was discussing even in this monk's retreat is having the correct perceptions. So typically we have the wrong perceptions. So that's why we don't even want to believe that things are falling apart. So this body also aging and this body gets sick and ultimately die. And so I don't want to accept that. So it's a little bit of bitter truth because I am still young. Still I have the vigor. I am still feeling good. I am happy. So why do I accept all this? So that's why we need to encourage having some proper or correct perceptions. As we discuss in the Girimananda Sutta, Anicca Sanya, Anatta Sanya, Asubha Sanya, Adinava Sanya, Pahana Sanya. Now, say for example, Anicca Sanya. So typically we have the perception of the permanence. So everything is permanent. So you can see this clock. It is a permanent. I mean, nothing changing. Even except the the second what's that? Tappara katutta මොකක්ද කියන්නේ? Sorry? Hand. Okay. So except the hand, everything appear like permanent. So you can't see the impermanence in a way. So we have the perception of the permanence. Anicce bhikkave nicchanti sanyaya pallaso, chitta pallaso, dittha pallaso. So whenever things are impermanent, I perceive it as permanent. And not only that, I think it as permanent and I decide it as permanent. So therefore Buddha encourages us, okay guys, you better practice the perception of impermanence. Still not as a realization, but as a superficial, fairly correct perception. Okay, things are impermanent. And for that we are using some mundane things. Okay, the sun rose from the east and it will spend several hours and in the evening it will, sunset. So it's impermanent. And okay, I had a pet and few years ago it passed away. Impermanent. Okay, my grandma spent several years and now she passed away. Impermanent. So some mundane way. So we are sort of encouraging, developing a perception of impermanence. And same thing like say anatta sanya. Okay, I think things are under my control, but often things go out of my control. Maybe the body, maybe I get sick, or maybe my loved one gets sick, or maybe the environment, the weather become completely changed. I didn't expect things to happen in a particular way, but it happened entirely a different way. So achinditampi bhavati happen. Then you understand, okay, things are uncontrollable. Okay, things have this non-self nature. So as a perception we develop. But when it comes to Vipassana, so we may be trying to experience it, investigate it, then the phenomena themselves show it to us. Interestingly, I mean, they were keep on telling it to us, they are keep on showing it to us, but we were looking at different place. We were interested on different areas, so we didn't see it, even though they are trying to tell us. But now we develop certain mindfulness. We very much like forcefully we are trying to keep it there for a long time. Okay, you just need to see it. Just see it. Then, my goodness, yes, it is impermanent. Even sadly you may understand, okay, yeah, what to do. It is impermanent. So, I mean, not only that, I mean, even Buddha mentioned certain gods are there, heavenly beings are there, they have extremely long lifespan. And when Buddha is telling, okay, things are impermanent, I mean, these lifespans are still impermanent, and they get kind of shivering when they heard that. This life is impermanent. I couldn't believe it. I was like permanent. I was like eternal. I can't remember when I was born. Now, we can easily understand in a way, at least as human beings. But there are heavenly realms, eons of lifespan. They can't remember when the body appeared, when their existence started, and they were living and living and living and living, never ending. Then Buddha come and say things are impermanent. So they start shivering, my goodness, I'm going to die one day. Very interesting.
Report number 8. Most Reverend Bhante, showing gratitude is named as one of the rare treasures in the world. AN5 Anguttara Nikaya Sarananda Sutra. This is my question. How do we specially practice gratitude to teachers like the Buddha? Most merit to you, Bhante.
Many different ways. I mean, in certain innocent ways are there. Maybe through the offering flowers, maybe offering Buddha puja, and all that also gives certain opportunity for us to show our gratitude. Even though it is not useful to him, already he passed away, but still showing our gratitude, our appreciation, our inner appreciation towards what he did. So I pay respect to the Buddha, I honor the Buddha, and I offer flowers to the Buddha, I offer Buddha puja to the Buddha. So all that giving us a very innocent way of happiness, very innocent way of appreciation and showing gratitude. That is one thing. But that is not the best thing in a way. Best thing may be to understand the teaching, practice the teaching, and see the Buddha through the Dhamma. So that may be the best thing that we can do for him. And few other things are there also. Now, recently I come across one sutta where one occasion Venerable Mahapajapati Gautami, she after became a nun, I believe. So once Buddha sneezed. And as usual, Mahapajapati, now what you do when someone sneezes? Bless you or something, no? That is what we used to do. So she also did the same thing. Bhante, may you live long. Then Buddha said, no, Pajapati, you can't say like that. That is not the way to bless the Buddha. What do you imagine? How to bless the Buddha? How to bless the Buddha? What more he needs? No. So he says, if you really want to bless the Buddha, bless the unity of the Sangha. You can see how profound, how critical it is. So if you really want to bless the Buddha, Pajapati, you wish the unity among the Sangha. So, I mean, these are very interesting areas as Buddhists for us to understand. So, how much he valued the unity among Sangha. You can understand today's situation. Many sects, many opinions, many arguments, and many discouraging remarks, and politics and nonsense. It's very difficult to even wear a robe today. Sometimes shameful to wear a robe. So to that level things have corrupted. But if we really want to bless the Buddha, so he is asking, okay, Pajapati, you need to wish the unity among Sangha. So then Sangha members may thrive. They work together and the teaching may blossom and they start practicing. And then the Buddha's teaching may live long and his teaching will, it become more fruitful. Rather than we arguing each other and giving various confronting ideas, conflicting ideas. So that is not the way to bless the Buddha or wish the Buddha. Rather, how to encourage the unity. That's another area. And the other thing is the practice, as I already mentioned. So if we as a Buddhist, if we know that the Buddha had the chance as a Bodhisattva for himself attain the arahanthood, but he given it up and spent fair amount of time becoming the Lord Buddha, the Samma Sambuddha, and just for us, that's for the other innocent people. Otherwise, he could have done it very long ago. So his teaching has to be lived, not in the book. It has to be lived by the practitioners, isn't it? Otherwise, we think, okay, now it has gone. I mean, it is not giving any result further. So only have to wait till the Metteyya Buddha appear. Now the Gautama Buddha Sasana is already done, already gone. No way to practice. No point of practicing today. So that is really discouraging. That doesn't show any gratitude. That doesn't show any gratitude. So if you really want to show the gratitude, okay, do like what the Venerable Dhammarama, no? That's the last Arahant. So probably you have heard that, right? When Buddha was lying down in his last bed, so in the Mahaparinibbana, so all other monks are, saddened, and they know, okay, Buddha is now lying down, it's the Parinibbana is coming closer. And then one monk, I think, so he came rushing. And he asked Venerable Ananda Bhante, I want to go and ask certain questions from the Buddha. Then Venerable Ananda said, no, don't go right now. He's taking a rest, so don't disturb him now. No, Bhante, I have a really important question. I really want to see the Buddha. Then Buddha heard that discussion and he asked Ananda, let him come. And then he came and he asked the questions, and then Buddha answered. And rather than he went away, he just sat down, start meditating. Why? He want to attain before Buddha pass away. That is the way to show the gratitude. So you can see, so very different way we have to look at things, isn't it? So very different way. So Buddha has pointed out how to show the gratitude in a way. So these are very interesting areas for us to ponder.
Report number 9, Venerable Thero. This has two parts. Part number 1, please advise on below in terms of Ditta Dhammavediniya Kamma. How does the noble truth generated by practicing of Vipassana meditation strengthens / prepares us for that conquering of Mara in lay life?
In lay life? Mara is there in every life. So you think that the Mara is not there in monk's life, right? Only in lay life. So I don't know, everywhere is Mara available. There is no area he doesn't have access. He has access everywhere. Either you go to any country, he has access. You come to any different form, still he has access. So that's an interesting question. So let me take one interesting answer given by the Buddha. It relates to our subject, what we are discussing in the Dhamma sermon. It's in the Mogaraja Panha in Sutta Nipata. So probably you have heard about one interesting story, that there is a old Brahmin, Bavari. So Bavari is the old Brahmin, and he has many students. These students are really talented people. They are, with psychic powers and all the jhana and everything. How old is this Bavari? Just any imagination? 120 years. Bavari, 120 years. And now another ascetic come and he made a curse on him, because he didn't give money. Simple as that. And then this fellow get afraid. So what's going to happen? And then one deity actually helped, and he or she came forward and say, "Oh, don't worry. There's a real arahant in this particular area. You better really ask what needs to be done. He's the real Buddha." Then he understood, okay, I myself can't go there. I'm really pretty old for that journey. Let my students go there. So this is the content of the Parayana Vagga. It's a very interesting, very profound area to explore, Parayana Vagga in Sutta Nipata. And then Venerable Bavari invited his most successful students, 16 students, and then teaching them how to recognize the Buddha. You know that 32 signs, so that is actually known to the Brahmins. It is not something that Buddha discovered, so that is known in their whatever the Vedic or Upanishad, whatever those texts, those were mentioned. So Babar is teaching all this information to these other ascetics, and okay, you go and see all these marks are appearing really with this Buddha. Assume now everything appear, now understood. Then you ask the question through your mind. If he is the real Buddha, he will answer through words. So one that such venerable who asked the question is called Mogaraja. So he is asking the question, Evang abhikkanta dasaving atti panhena agamang katang lokang avekkantang machu raja na pasati. So I came all the way in order to see you. Atti panhena agamang. I had a question to ask. Katang lokang avekkantang machu raja na pasati. So how to look at the world so that I am not being noticed by the Mara. So he want to get away from the Mara. So Bhante, how to look at the world so that I'll be free from the Mara? Sunyato lokang avekkassu mogaraja sada satu. Attanu ditting uhacca evam machu tarosiya. Evam lokang avekkantang machu raja na passati. So Buddha answering, Sunyato lokang avekkassu. Mogaraja, you need to look at the world as empty. Mogaraja sada satu. Sada satu. Every time mindfully. Every time mindfully you have to look at the world as empty. Attanuditting uhacca. By doing that you need to recognize, understand the attanuditti, the self-view, and then extract it, abandon it. Evam machu tarosiya. Evam lokang avekkantang machu rajana pasati. If you are able to do that, you will not be noticed by the Mara. So you got to do it. So we were discussing yesterday about the dwelling in emptiness. So more we are able to dwell in emptiness, more we look at the world as empty, so Mara might not see. So who is there to die when you are in emptiness? Another way asking, right? So when you are dwelling in emptiness, who is there to die? Nobody is there to die. Isn't it? So it's interesting. I mean, it is not that we are trying to safeguard ourselves as a person by dwelling in emptiness. Rather, while dwelling in emptiness, I mean, if there is no self, then who is there to die? Then Mara can't see you. Very interesting.
Part 2 of that question. It is said that Arahant Ananda in his last night before enlightenment made much efforts to do so, and soon after he recalled his meditation, he reached enlightenment. Is there a key takeaway from this to yogis, please?
I mean, not he reached the, so rather look at the meditation, rather he given up meditation. He was striving a lot and he was working hard because tomorrow is the council. The first council, he was selected, but under one condition. You should attend the council being an arahant. So now he is in big trouble. Because this Venerable Mahakassapa, he being the big brother, so he is giving a big task, because without Ananda, Venerable Ananda, they can't do the council also. But all others are 499 arahants are there, and they have one condition: Ananda don't come without being an arahant. So he has a big exam tomorrow. working hard, not achieving anything. Practicing, because tomorrow, only tomorrow. You can't have a lot of time now. Buddha also passed away. No one to help. Venerable Sariputta, my best friend, passed away. Working hard. Given up. And want to sleep. Just about to sleep, he attained arahantship. Very relevant to, as we discussed yesterday. So that's why, when it comes to Vipassana, so it is not mere striving help us. Striving is essential, putting a lot of effort is essential to put ourselves in the proper track. But once we have understood to some extent how to deal with things and how to look at the phenomena and how they come and go and all that, then we have to navigate in a smooth way, not through a kind of a struggling, not through a striving, but proper managing of the effort. So sometimes, now the West is telling, like, I think this made by John Kabat-Zinn. So he used to say, typically we have the doing mode, now one has to switch to the being mode. Being mode, we were in doing mode, always want to do. I want to make the world better. Right? I want to reduce the oil price. I want to do the best. So every time doing. And later you switch to something being. Okay, just be, just relax, just be quiet, stop. Just stopped. So that's why Buddha mentioned to Angulimala, you stopped, you just stop. That's it.
Report number 10. Dear Bhante, a grudge or an angry thought against a person is an emotion that comes up within. However much I want to get rid of such unwholesome thoughts, they keep coming up. Bhante, please advise.
So let me share something, but you don't have to tell anyone. So even after becoming a monk, I had to do a lot of administrative work while at Nissarana. So certain monks are against me, and sometimes putting certain friction, and then grudge started rising. Grudge in the sense, certain kind of angry thoughts started arising, and it's very difficult. I know this fellow during the Vinaya meeting, okay, definitely he put something. Something. Whenever I tell something, was another conflicting idea, objection may every time happen. It's very difficult. And he often go and complain to Bhante Dhammaji also. lot of this and that happening. I am just telling only little. So it lasted in my mind for a while, and he also thought that I may get the revenge, and so one occasion, so he made a kind of a complaint. Okay, I am the one completely overruling the Nissarana Act. The Nissarana Act is there. There's a Vipassana. The Act is there in Nissarana, and he go and complain to Bhante Dhammaji, and then Bhante Dhammaji blasted him. And so he thought, then I'll take a revenge. On that day night, I had to go to India, and the flight was on that day night. So I could have write him and further aggravate the situation. And during the Uposatha, and that's also the Uposatha day, and I could have taken it as a item during the monks' discussion, but I didn't take that. So I felt, okay, no point. I mean, it is not my duty in a one sense to correct him. And no point of keep on having a very heavy mind, because I am now going to a far away journey. So if I am going to die, I mean, why should I carry all this burden in my mind? So air traveling, no? Anyway. So, so I thought, okay, let's. So he was expecting it to happen. So he was so, I mean, he's not even looking at me. He was so sort of maybe afraid. I don't know. He was so little stressed, thinking that I will fight during the Sangha meeting, during the Uposatha. But I didn't take it up. Then I just, Bhante Dhammaji also may expected, okay, I to take it up as a item to discuss during the Sangha meeting. But I didn't take it. And then I was staying at the airport, that I received an email from him. Bhante, thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Have a safe journey. Thank you also. Theruvan Saranai. Everything sorted out. So these are interesting areas. I mean, even though we are monks, so there are conflicting ideas, different opinions, different ways of looking at things. So these are possible. I mean, not impossible. These are possible. But how to deal with them and not maintaining too much animosity and all that is something to understand, and because ultimately no point. Because just forgiving and forgetting is the best thing. Have a lighter mind has nothing, basically. So therefore, I mean, even for you, whoever has wrought this, so at first it appears like difficult, because you understand there's a person, I really hate him, I really don't like him, and even though I want to correct him, he never listened to me. And so likewise, a kind of a hateful situation in the mind. But who is the one suffering? Isn't it? I mean, I am the one suffering, basically. So no, I mean, he might not even know that I am holding this kind of a grudge. So I am the one suffering. So if you really want to correct yourself, just let it go. Just forgive. Forgive even one-sided. I mean, you don't need to go and forgive. I mean, you don't need to go and apologize if it is difficult. Just forget it. Just forgive it. Forgive him or her and ignore the situation. Because holding a grudge is really heavy. Pretty heavy for the mind. And I mean, we were discussing the dwelling in emptiness. So how about the emptiness being occupied by a grudge? Isn't it? How heavy it is. Holding a grudge in the empty area. So then you can understand also it's a kind of burning experience. Every time remember that person, what he did, what he's going to do, and a lot of doubts. And very heavy, very difficult to maintain an empty mind. So forgetfulness is a blessing. In that sense. Okay.
Those are all the reports, but there is a concern that noble silence is not maintained in meditation hall, dana hall and the kitchen, so we all have to be aware of it. Just I'm reading it out. Bhante, then you have to talk about your books has to be distributed.
Yeah, so yesterday morning actually I encouraged that, so please maintain silence as much as possible. And there are new book here, and Miss Chandima has sponsored that. Many actually involved, many yogis from Kalalgoda involved in proofreading it, and Rani Rajapakshamaniyo was there in the final proofreading, and Amil was there with preparing the cover. So many actually get together in preparing this book. So I invite you to have a copy, and not just to have it, but to read it and practice. Okay, Theruvan Saranai.